20 to 25% of college women and 15% of college men are victims of forced sex during their time in college.
More than 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault.
27% of college women have experienced some form of unwanted sexual contact.
Nearly 2/3 of college students experience sexual harassment.
Sexual assault can be defined as rape, attempted rape, and unwanted sexual touching. While all genders are victims of sexual assault, women face this aggression the most. In the past few years, sexual assault on college campuses have gained significant attention. The rise of rape culture, media portrayal of women, and gender stereotypes contribute to the sexual assault. You might ask what causes sexual assault. The most common answer is that women cause it, and that is because of what they wear. Society has determined that women who wear short skirts, dresses, and shorts are asking for it. However, this is completely false. A woman can choose to wear revealing clothing or stay covered, but wearing revealing clothing doesn't suggest that they want to be intimate with someone else. A woman can wear little clothing in order to feel confident in her body, which does not imply any sexual advances. So what are some causes of rape? Drugs, alcohol, and peer pressure. Often when one delves into the exhilaration that drugs induce, the person is no longer correctly aware of their actions, which could lead to terrible consequences. Here at Clemson, the topic is not severely addressed. However, that is not to say it doesn't happen. While only 15 incidents have been reported, there is definitely a higher number that is hidden.
Gender stereotypes are a significant enhancer of rape culture. Boys are raised being told to man up and boys don't cry, while young girls are taught to be sensitive and quiet. Sexual violence and rape are deeply integrated into the lives of young people, causing it to be a normative rather than an unusual situation. From a young age, these ideas are engraved into children's minds, which affect their outlooks on life. Young boys grow up with the knowledge they learned when they were younger, constantly feeling the need to prove their masculinity and look tough. When male bonding in a locker room setting was analyzed, it was discovered that fraternal bonding is strongly affected by competition for status. Aggression is strongly valued in this competition for power. This aggression and desire to prove themselves leads to the treatment of women as objects and encourages sexist attitudes. Media is another reinforcer of rape culture. Media violence and sexist media are enabling conditions for men's violence against women. Young impressionable boys see violence towards women and the existence of male dominance on television or video games and interpret this as the norm. Throughout media, women are commonly portrayed as sexual objects that are degraded to being less than men. The betrayal of women as objects, plus the aggression, competition, and sexual conquest linked to male dominance all contribute to the rape culture in which we live.
Pop culture plays a large role in sexual assault and violence. In many male-dominated video games, women are provocatively dressed, which degrades her value and reiterates the idea that women should be submissive. Oftentimes, these characters are sexually harassed or even assaulted in a form of punishment. Media is teaching young boys that they need to be assertive in their masculinity by overpowering women. Many advertisements sell cultural norms and make certain themes normal. One such example is violence, which tends to stem from images in media. Women are compared to objects, therefore it devalues the woman's worth. Many men see women as objects and not as beings with emotions. Body language also contributes to this idea of normalcy and violence. Women and young girls are shown placing their hands above their mouths, heads tilted downward with a childlike pose and a shy smile on their face. Boys are often shown taller than girls with their hands on their hips and a fighting stance showing off their masculinity. This resonates with the old idea and belief that women are seen as submissive to men, unable to stand up for their rights and beliefs. In this advertisement made by Dolce & Gabbana, shows 4 very strong masculine men about to engage in a sexual activity with one single woman who is scantily clad. The advertisement is not clear on what they are selling. However, they are selling the idea that gang rape is fine. Social media also plays a large role in sexual assault. If you scroll through the hashtags of college, parties, or fraternities, it is easy to see how rape culture is normalized. While drinking and going to parties is a part of many college student lives, this is also a place where rape can occur. When so much alcohol is consumed, it inhibits our mind from making rational thoughts and can be hard to give consent.
A phrase many of us may have heard before is the infamous "boys will be boys" statement. You may hear this phrase used more innocently with children, but the behavior expands to men and their mere excuse for any kind of aggression, including sexual assault. The phrase "boys will be boys" is often used in today's society as the overall excuse of a man's behavior, giving rise to the separation of expectations between women as needing to be the polite and well-mannered ones, and the men who are able to simply act immature and childish due to their biological nature, or not having to take credit for their actions. While this phrase is innocently used with young boys, the phrase has grown popularity when dealing with excusing men for their actions in a sexual assault case. Many of us may be familiar with the Brock Turner case that happened a few years ago, but in case you are not aware, in 2015, Brock Turner is a highly decorated Stanford athlete and was accused of raping a woman at a party. Turner went to court and was only convicted of 6 months jail time because the judge thought anything longer than the given time period would be too harsh on his reputation, and he didn't want to jeopardize his future, and stated that Turner just had a little too much to drink and things got a bit out of hand. A mere 6 months in prison for ruining a whole life of the victim. Recently, Turner and his lawyers have tried to appeal the conviction of his case, but have lost. The victim, known as Emily Doe, has since spoken out and states, "This is not a story of another drunk college hookup with poor decision-making. Assault is not an accident."
Every 2 minutes in the United States, someone is raped, and the chances of being that victim is 4 times greater for a female college student than for any other age group or gender. This statistic alone shows how frequently rape occurs, and oftentimes we don't even realize what happens on Clemson's very own campus. Rape cultures can have multiple different definitions depending on who you ask, but it's important to realize that it's up to the victim to put a definition on their case. Since Clemson University is primarily a masculine society, behavior such as sexual assault is normalized and never spoken about. Enabling this culture, Clemson University hides behind Title IX and Clemson Family, forcing rape victims to hide in the shadows of their own fear. Title IX is a federal gender equity law that prohibits discrimination based on sex in education programs and activities that receive federal funding. All incoming students coming to Clemson University must complete the course the first semester that they attend. The course is a pass or fail and is primarily aligned besides the 2 meetings that students have to meet for. It has been over 40 years since Title IX was signed into U.S. federal law and has not been revised since. The main problem with Title IX is that it does not treat sexual assault to the same caliber that the justice system does. It allows the university to complete the investigation process and punishment to the school's discretion, which creates discrepancies with bias and influence. Since 2015, Clemson reports that only 15 assaults have happened. Obviously, 15 assaults were not all that occurred in the past 4 years, but only 15 victims have felt comfortable enough confiding in Clemson. This alone shows that Clemson needs to have a better, non-biased process of how they handle rape victims. Clemson University and college campuses around the country need to address the issue more often and bring light to the situation when sexual assaults and harassment occur. Recognizing the problem of male domination towards women on Clemson campus will drastically decrease the number of victims of sexual harassment and increase the number of victims who come forward.
To explain more on the matter of sexual violence and rape culture, we sat down and interviewed Clemson University's Title IX coordinator, Alexis Smith, and asked her a few questions.
What resources are available to sexual assault survivors here on Clemson University?
One of the things, just so everybody knows, I'm Alexis Smith, and my title is Executive Director for Equity Compliance and the Title IX Coordinator. So what we try to do is ensure that students realize that the resources available is responsible for helping and ensuring that they are able to be successful while they're here. So counseling and psychological services is a great resource. We connect them with the counselors there. They have someone who specializes in working with anybody who's been traumatized based off of sexual violence and sexual harassment. We also provide opportunities for those students if they want to go off campus. We have facilities and companies, businesses that we work with, or victims advocates that we work with in the Pickens County, as well as Seneca, Oconee, and Anderson and Pendleton.
So it's not just around Clemson, it's like all the area support.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Also our hospitals, in particular the one in Easley. Baptist Easley actually does what we call rape kits. It's where we would recommend for students to go if indeed they need medical attention right away. We also provide assistance with classes. So if indeed that they've been traumatized, need to be out of class, may have missed an assignment, may have missed some homework assignments, then I would work with their faculty members and ask for leniency. So I send an email normally and just say, please, I'm working with this student, provide them with some leniency. So that allows them to not be penalized for missing class or not turning an assignment or having difficulties with one of their classes or some of the exams. We can issue no contact orders. So if the individual is a student, we can actually issue what we call no contact orders, so that individual doesn't communicate with that person in any form or fashion. That's through third party, social media, texting, phone calls, notes.
If you or someone you know are victimized in a case involving sexual assault, here are a few steps you can take to get the help you may need. For more information, please contact the Title IX coordinator in 223 Holzendorf Hall or at 864-656-3181. If you do become a victim of sexual assault, utilize Redfern Health Services or local care facilities in this area. To talk to someone, the National Sexual Assault Hotline is 1-800-656-4963. And remember, assault is not an accident.